Imagine this. You're talking to an AI and getting exactly the answer you want, every single time. We're talking perfect, bug-free code, stunning cinematic images, highly professional emails, or even complete strategic business plans. I know, it sounds a bit like magic, right? But here's the actual secret. The quality of the AI's answer depends entirely on how you ask the question. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to master the art of asking, a skill known as prompt engineering, and we'll see exactly why it's rapidly becoming the absolute most non-negotiable skill of our time.
Look, we've all been there. You type a question into an AI chatbot, you're expecting this brilliant, insightful response, and what you actually get back is confusing, super generic, or just flat out wrong. So why does this happen? Well, it's because AI, despite being incredibly intelligent, desperately needs a clear roadmap. It has access to more information than any human could ever process, but if your instructions are vague, guess what? The output is gonna be vague. The AI cannot read your mind, it can only read your prompt.
And that brings us to exactly what we're talking about today. Prompt engineering is basically the art and science of designing and optimizing text-based instructions, which we call prompts, to guide AI models toward generating your desired outputs. Whether you're using ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or even image generators like Midjourney, prompt engineering is your ultimate roadmap. It's literally how you steer these incredibly powerful systems to understand your intent, follow your rules, and give you exactly what you need.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, unlocking the AI roadmap. 2, how AI reads your prompts. 3, mastering the types of prompts. 4, strategies for better outputs. And finally, prompting in the real world. Let's dive right in. Section 2, how AI reads your prompts. Let's look under the hood. To truly master prompt engineering, you can't just memorize a bunch of tricks. You really need to understand the hidden mechanics. You need to know why prompts work the way they do when you hit enter. Think of the ecosystem like a nested puzzle. Artificial intelligence is the broad concept of machines imitating human intelligence. Inside of that, you have machine learning, where systems learn from experience. Drill down further and you hit deep learning, which uses complex neural networks. And then generative AI, the tools we use every day, builds on that deep learning foundation. But instead of just predicting or recognizing patterns, generative AI actually creates entirely new content based directly on your prompt. So what is actually happening when you type in a prompt? It's not magic, it's just math. First, you input your prompt, let's say write a guest post. Then the model runs a process called inference. Now, during inference, the AI doesn't think like you or I do. Instead, it looks at your context and simply predicts the next most likely token or word. It makes this prediction based on its massive training data, and it does this over and over, token by token, word by word, until it spits out your final text. Your prompt is basically the starting coordinate for that mathematical prediction. But here's a wild thought. A basic pre-trained AI just wants to predict the next token. If you ask it a question, it might literally just predict another question instead of actually answering you. To fix this, engineers use something called RLHF, which stands for Reinforcement Learning with Human Feedback. This aligns the raw models so that when we ask a question, we get a response that is polite, helpful, and actually formatted the way we humans expect to converse. All right, moving on to Section 3, mastering types of prompts and structuring instructions. Now that we know how the AI is thinking, let's look at how we can structure our instructions to get the best results. Let's start with basic prompting. A weak prompt is something vague like, write about AI. With that, the AI has no idea who the audience is, what tone to use, or how detailed to be. But look at a much better prompt. Explain artificial intelligence to beginners using simple English and real-world examples. The difference is night and day. By giving the AI specific details about the audience, the tone, and the exact style you want, you instantly upgrade the result from a generic Wikipedia page to a highly targeted, super useful piece of content. Let's level this up with role prompting. A direct, zero-shot prompt just asks for the output directly, like, write a blog about machine learning. It's fine, but it's basic. With role prompting, you assign the AI an expert persona. By saying act as a senior software engineer and explain APIs, you are fundamentally changing the quality, the vocabulary, and the depth of the generated text. You're basically telling the AI exactly which neighborhood of its vast neural network it should pull its tokens from. Next up is a technique called chain of thought prompting. If you give an AI a complex math or logic puzzle and just say, solve this problem, it might hallucinate or skip steps and just give you the totally wrong answer. But by simply adding the phrase step by step to your prompt, you force the AI to reason through its logic sequentially. This is an absolutely powerful trick for complex tasks, making sure the AI shows its work and arrives at a much, much more accurate conclusion. Section 4, Strategies for Better Outputs. Let's look at some proven strategies.
So we have the basic formats down. Now let's look at an actionable mental checklist. These are proven strategies drawn directly from Google Cloud's official prompting guide, and you can use these right away. I absolutely love this checklist because it's just so practical. First, set clear goals. Know exactly what you want before you even start typing. Second, use strong action verbs like summarize, translate, or compose. Third, define your constraints. Tell it if you want a 500-word essay or a short bulleted list. Fourth, specify your target audience so the tone is right. And fifth, add context and examples. I can't stress this enough. Even adding just a few sentences to describe the theme or giving a quick example makes a massive difference in reducing errors and getting exactly what you want.
Which brings us to Section 5, Prompting in the Real World and Real Career Applications. So, how does this all actually come together to automate your daily workflow? Let's take all this theory and see how these prompt engineering skills unlock real-world career applications across entirely different industries. Just look at how diverse these use cases are. If you're generating images, your prompt needs to describe lighting, objects, and style, like asking for cinematic lighting, ultra-realistic 4K. If you're a software developer, your prompt includes the broken code and specifically asks the AI to explain a null pointer exception. Or if you're in business, you can drop in a massive news article and instruct the AI to capture just the key information. Whether you're designing digital art or debugging Java, the format of your prompt completely dictates your success. And hey, prompt engineering isn't just for typing text into a box anymore. It applies heavily to voice AI too. Take a look at this concept of multi-turn conversational prompting. In this scenario, someone asks Alexa to set the lights to study mode. Now, Alexa doesn't inherently know what that means, so it asks for context. The user provides that context, saying, set it to 50% brightness. Alexa learns this, and in the next turn of the conversation, successfully reuses that newly prompted context. This right here, this is the future of interacting with all technology. As we look toward the future, the stakes are honestly incredibly clear. Generative AI doesn't just predict, it creates entirely new content. Because of this, mastering prompt engineering is truly a non-negotiable career skill. It is the technical skill with the lowest barrier to entry. I mean, you literally just need to know how to speak natural language, but it offers the absolute highest immediate return on investment for your time. It is how you leverage the world's most powerful technology to act as your personal assistant, your creative partner, and your data analyst. We've covered the mechanics, the frameworks, and the real-world applications. You now have the roadmap to guide AI from generating gibberish to producing absolute perfection. The power of deep learning and generative models is literally sitting right there at your fingertips, just waiting for your instructions. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Armed with this incredible new skill, what are you going to build with your next prompt? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and have fun prompting.